Before the video begins, I'd just like to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to my channel, especially if you enjoyed the video. You really be doing me a huge favor. Also, if you do subscribe, don't forget to hit the bell notification so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get into it.
What the hell are you doing?
Looking for ghosts?
Why are you looking for ghosts?
I don't know, I could just sense a malevolent presence looming in the area.
I've also been picking up your presence. But how'd you manage to do it? You weren't supposed to get that ability yet.
Wait, what?
What's your next video gonna be about?
I'm glad you asked. Today I'm going to be ranking the Luigi's Haunted Mansion bosses. Now, the Luigi's Haunted Mansion franchise is one of my favorite Nintendo franchises. I played all 3 games. And well, Luigi just happens to be my favorite video game character of all time. I don't care what anybody thinks either. I think he's awesome personally. But enough about that. Let's get into the list. Okay, and we come to my least favorite boss fight, Clem. Now, in this boss fight, you and him are essentially on 2 inflatable floaties, and you're both basically circling around a pool with spikes and mimes in it. Your objective is to make Clem go dizzy when he tries to strike you, and then I can then pop his floaty. I can then deflate his floaty. Now, I wouldn't hate this boss fight so much if it wasn't for the shit controls. Seriously, I don't know why, but it's not responsive. Essentially, you have to use the poltergeist to suck and blow your way around the arena. Don't read too deep into that. And I swear it just never works for me. And to make the boss fight even worse, once you pop Clem's floaty, you actually have to get out of the pool and then go over to him. And then do the requisite slamming. Right? Now, this wouldn't be too much of a problem, but sometimes he'll be all the way across the room, and I'll have a few seconds to go get to him before he gets up. It just wasn't a very well put together boss fight for me, is the thing. Kind of my second least favorite boss fight, Soulffle. Now, this boss fight didn't annoy me as much as Clem, but it still did annoy the shit out of me. Mechanically, there's nothing wrong with it. It's pretty straightforward. You just have to, you just have to suck up her sand creation, and then basically wail on her. But the thing that really upset me about this boss fight is the fact that, the hole's sometimes going high in the sand, right? And then she'll pop back up. But every time I go over there, she dump back down. She jumped back down to the sand immediately, and I'm just over here like, what the? It went on for like 5.5 minutes, and I remember just getting annoyed by it. I'm like, oh my god, would you stop? Oh my god. And then she'd always appear on the other side of the map. It was just a really annoying boss fight to get through. And my third least favorite boss fight, Dr. Potter. Now, in this boss fight, you have to get his Venus flytrap thingy to lock on to the gourd thingy because they can't bite through it. So you can cut through its neck with this saw thingy. I should have keep saying thingy. Now, the reason I really like this boss fight is because the Venus flytrap either wouldn't bite at a gourd half the time, or bite through the gourd half the time. Just what? Like, am I missing something? Like, I just suck at this game? Like, it's not supposed to do that, right? Man. Alright, that pretty much concludes it for the bosses I didn't really like. Yeah, only 3. Hmm. Now when you fight Steward, he doesn't really have any gimmicks to him because he's the first boss. Makes sense. He just kind of throws luggage at you. Not really much to say about this boss. He was alright, I guess. Steward, there's not really much to Chambrea, but she gets bonus points for creativity. She's the only actual boss fight that you actually have to chase down. That you actually chase from room to room. And while I would normally find that kind of annoying, here I think it's kind of creative, because again, she's the only boss ghost that does that. So yeah. And another boss fight that you have to fight in a pool. Well, at least you're not inside the pool with them. So that's automatic points right there. Seriously, I hate those inner tubes. All right, in order to defeat this guy, you gotta throw the volleyballs back at him. They throws at you, while Luigi drains the pool. So yeah, pretty solid, but just alright in the grand scheme of things. All right, Chef Souffle. What can I say about him? I mean, he has a frying pan he uses to spin around. You gotta get out of his hand, I can defeat him. That's pretty much it. There's not much to him. I mean, the only reason he's this high though is because I find it kind of funny that when you initially find him, he in the kitchen burning up some fish. What you doing being a chef, man? You can't cook. Right, now we're getting into boss fights I actually really do like. And the first one up is Kruller. Now, this boss fight automatically gets points because it's the only boss fight I can think of where you play as Luigi. Or you play as Luigi only. Because Luigi can't get himself to the bars. He'll be sure. I could be scoring. He uses a water gun instead of an actual gun. If only cops from my left could be like that. And you gotta move his sunglasses so you can stun him. So that's pretty cool automatically. Yeah. Pretty cool boss fight. Ugh. You fight a skeleton T-Rex. That is so boss. I mean, yeah, the second phase is kind of uneventful, but you fight a freaking skeleton T-Rex. It gets points just for that. That is so boss. I mean, it's a freaking T-Rex possessed by a caveman ghost. Like, what else should I have to say about that? I mean, technically, dinosaurs and cavemen live together, but who cares? Just so boss. Wait, don't dinosaurs exist in the Mushroom Kingdom? They do. Nikki, Lindsey, and Ginny, triplet ghosts that are also magicians. Because of the magicians, they're throwing all kinds of tricks at you, throwing playing cards, throwing bombs, spinning around the little hats. And what I like about this boss fight is that it actually gets tricky to try and figure out which hat they're hiding in. I mean, obviously, with the three of them out, you have one of these hats is a girl on it. But as you wind down and beat them, it becomes a little tougher to discern which hat they're in. And I find that aspect kind of interesting and cool. So yeah. Captain Fishhook, you fight a ghost pirate shark. I don't even know how to describe that. That is just just how badass can a fight get? I ain't even got nothing else to say about that. Just that sense alone should make me want to go do this boss fight. Just man. Morty. Now, the reason I like this boss ghost is because he's the only boss ghost that you don't have to defeat. And he's also the only one that you don't fight directly. Like, my man Morty's trying to make a movie, right? You know, so he gets some ghosts, you dress up in a monster costume, and you and Luigi basically go fight it. In this movie that he's directing, right? You know, a parody of Godzilla films, right? After the fight is said and done, he'll be in the editing room putting the movie together and everything. You could choose to, like, you know, you can choose to defeat him if you want to, but if you do, you got no fucking soul. Okay, my man Morty is just trying to fucking make a movie. Like, you live your dreams, man. You live your dreams. I ain't gonna bother you. Phantasmagoria. I wish I was making that up. But yeah, dude, this boss fight's so awesome because I love the fact that Luigi's not married to turns and you just got served, like, out of nowhere. Like a bunch of these ghosts in sweatsuits just come out of nowhere and start aggressively break dancing at you, like. And another thing I really love about this boss fight is the fact that Luigi will be snapping his finger while actually fighting these boss. And then once you take them out, she'll come out yourself and directly fight you. I love the fact that she's wearing a wig. Like her afro's not real. Oh my god. Like, that's just awesome. This is a pretty epic final boss fight. Like, King Boo's throwing all the stops at you. He's shooting fireballs, shooting lightning at you, cloning himself, shooting his tongue at you. Ew. Mario, what is it with you and Boo tongue? Seriously. But anyway, yeah, just. And what I really love is that when it gets down to the final wire, you'll actually put on a time limit. Like, if you do not defeat him within this time, you will lose. And while normally something like that should be something that I hate. I don't know. I think it adds to the atmosphere and tension of the boss fight. But just because I think it's a solid and pretty good final boss fight doesn't make it my final boss. Doesn't make it my favorite boss fight. Obviously. Alright, Hellen Gravely. Now, what's really interesting about this boss fight is the fact that it pretty much tests your reflexes. Like, how sharp are your reflexes? How good are you at switching between Luigi and Luigi on the fly? We're about to find out in this boss fight. She basically has his laser turret set up with these 4 different colored lasers. The only way to shut them off is to use Luigi and then go into the basement or the floor below and then switch off the switches so you don't get hit by the lasers. Heck and again, you have to do all this while getting Luigi, while keeping Luigi safe from the lasers. Oh yeah, and dodging Hellen Gravely, who's also trying to attack you. Like, a lot of people will find this annoying, but I don't know, again, I found it kind of challenging, just a good challenge of reflexes. King MacFrights. This boss isn't the toughest or even the hardest, but I just like this boss because of the pure aesthetic. My man comes in decked out in some knight armor with horse armor, even though there's no horse, and charges at you. You basically have to slam him, slowly removing bits of armor as you do, until there's nothing left but King MacFrights himself. My man fights to the bitter end. And, yeah, I thought it was pretty, At last, we are one of my favorite boss fight in Luigi's Untitled Chapter 3, Amadeus Wolfgeist. Now, the reason I love this boss fight so much is because Amadeus Wolfgeist, I feel, has the most personality of all the ghosts. And that's a big plus for me. My man's just trying to put on a concert. Well, next to Morty, anyway. My man is trying to put on a concert and you're ruining it. He's just a twisted genius trying to play the piano. And also possess the piano. Yeah, you're finding a possessed piano in this. Very reminiscent of Super Mario 64. Now, after you throw a bomb in the piano, you don't have to slam it, releasing Amadeus. What is a pretty epic boss fight. But I think the thing that really seals it for me is that unlike other ghosts that struggle, Amadeus just kind of accepts it. Like as he's crawling, he's eventually just like, you beat me. You beat me. I'm gonna take one last bow, and then I'm going to go. Like a true professional. That's my list. Let me know what your favorite Luigi's Haunted Mansion bosses are. And have a happy Halloween.
So what's your next video gonna be about?
Well, actually, that's pretty interesting. Do you hear that?
Oh no. It appears we've got company. Look over there.
Look over where?
To your left.
I knew there was a ghost in here, so that's why I came prepared.
How are you going to stop her from that?
Oh, disembodied voice, you don't get it. This is no ordinary vacuum cleaner. This is EGAD's latest poltergust. The Poltergust 800, and the H stands for handheld. Aw, isn't that cute? He thinks he can run from me. You can't run from me, you corporeal bastard! Gotcha! Get in there! Get in here! Damn, that was one ugly ass ghost. Hope we didn't have friends.